Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So this from XRP Darren at Fame21More here on Twitter. Mania hasn't even happened yet, guys. Markets will overreact. Institutions are salivating at crypto gains and DeFi yields. At one point, they will get the green light. This just to reiterate that, guys, we still have more cryptocurrency bull run in us. Now, I know, over the last several months, I have been predicting the top being at the end of quarter 4 of 2021, or maybe leaking into the beginning of quarter 1, 2022. But in this video, guys, I'm going to give you more reasons why we could see a prolonged bull run going into perhaps quarter 2, quarter 3, and maybe even quarter 4 of 2022. And I'm going to bring up the Bitcoin chart. I'm going to show you guys what we have seen in the past. And so, the more times we see different models checking out to suggest a prolonged bull run, that just, to me at least, makes the case even stronger. We also have Michael Van de Pope here on Twitter saying, quarter 2022 is going to be a massive alt season. And so he's projecting quarter 1, 2022. The big thing here is Bitcoin. And realistically, what we have seen over the since this dump here, right? Since we saw this huge pullback for Bitcoin and other altcoins in the space back in June, we have seen little volume, okay? Low volume over here. If you guys are looking at the chart, right? Low volume compared to what we saw back over here, right? So look at how high this volume got compared to where this volume kind of topped out at over the last few months. So we don't even have the excitement yet for price appreciation, yet we are still seeing Bitcoin rally back up close to its all-time high. We have now seen a retracement, of course. We are forming this bullish pennant pattern, which I talked about in yesterday's video. And I think Darren and Michael Van de Pope here are on the right track. When people are telling us the Bitcoin is almost over, yes, that is a possibility based on price targets, based on where we could see Bitcoin go. However, we do have to ask ourselves, how long is that going to take? And, time, one of the trickiest factors to predict. However, we're going to use some indicators later on in this video to see if we can predict or at least get a better idea of how long this Bitcoin bull run is going to go. So I also saw this from Ian Northing, and I do believe strongly that this is going to have an effect on the crypto market. So the House has officially passed the $1 trillion infrastructure bill with crypto tax for Biden's approval. The infrastructure bill was first proposed by the Biden administration, aimed at primarily improving the national transport network and internet coverage. The U.S. House of Representatives passed the $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill, which, if signed into law by President Biden, would enforce new provisions in relation to crypto tax reporting for all citizens. The infrastructure bill was first proposed by the Biden administration, aimed at primarily improving the national transport network and internet coverage. However, the bill mandated stringent reporting requirements for the crypto community. So that is the part of the bill that us in the crypto community obviously have been eyeing very, very closely. And so this would require all digital asset transactions worth more than $10,000 to be reported by the IRS. So that's really nothing new in terms of transactions. Now they are just including cryptocurrencies in the definition, whereas before it was strictly just fiat currencies. So as Cointelegraph reported, the bill was first approved by the Senate on August 10th with a 69-30 vote, which was met with a proposal to compromise amendment by a group of 6 senators, namely Pat Toomey, Cynthia Loomis, Rob Portman, Mark Warner, Kristen Sinema, and Ron Wyden. According to Toomey, this legislation imposes a badly flawed and in some cases unworkable cryptocurrency tax reporting mandate that threatens future technological innovation. And so in this article, they go on into some of the details about the definition of a broker, which was a big point of contention. Nevertheless, just the bigger takeaway here with regards to this bill, it has been passed and it is now going to Biden to sign off on. So this is going to definitely affect the cryptocurrency market. And, although it might sound a little counterintuitive, like, well, now we have to pay tax on certain crypto transactions or what have you, now that there's more regulation surrounding crypto, I think some of us are thinking, well, why would I want to buy more cryptocurrency if I have to pay tax on it? The flip side to that, guys, is that institutional investors want to be trading in a regulated market, want to invest in a regulated market in order to avoid, getting that slap on the wrist by Johnny Law. for them, right? There's a lot to lose. There's a lot at stake. And so they want to play by the rules. So this is going to give, the cryptocurrency market more legitimacy and more opportunity for institutional money to flow in. So that's going to be good. We also have this guy's from XRP Crypto Wolf posting this article here with regard to the XRP lawsuit. SEC's course of action will have this effect. Now, this is John Deaton weighing in on what could happen depending if this particular scenario comes to pass. Many investors hoping for a speedy resolution in the SEC versus Ripple Labs lawsuit were disappointed as the court granted the SEC's request to push the discovery deadline to January 14th, 2022, as we've all heard. So, this is another indication that, if we look at the cryptocurrency market as a whole, and Ripple in court being that big kind of indicator for the rest of the crypto space. Do we rally? Do we not rally? What do we do? So I think that this SEC case, a lot hinges on this. One such disappointed individual was John Deaton. Okay, he spoke about the lawsuit and speculated on what might take place. Will the SEC settle? While winning and losing the lawsuit seem like clear-cut results, a settlement comes with its own implications. Now, we have heard Brad Garlinghouse go on the record saying, we are not going to settle. We are going to fight this tooth and nail. However, things can change. Deaton claimed if the judge finds that XRP is not a security, so this would have to be one of the stipulations of this, that the SEC did not give fair notice and adequate notice to the market, if they actually get a ruling and win, that's going to stop Gensler's jurisdictional approach to crypto. So this would be like a chain of events that would have to occur in order for Gary Gensler to, put on the brakes with his approach. Because at that point in time, really, the SEC would only have jurisdiction over pure ICO type offerings. So this is one potential scenario that John Deaton sees as occurring in order to perhaps guide the cryptocurrency market in one way. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie Sliding Doors. A whole chain reaction of a set of events could occur based on one decision. It's a great movie, by the way. He added, so it is quite possible that the SEC settles with Ripple so that they can still potentially go after other cryptos. So it might be that, the SEC could give Ripple a favorable settlement to just get them off their back because they know, Brad Garlinghouse is like a dog with a bone and the Ripple lawyers, right? They are not backing down. It could be that the SEC might be like, okay, here's your settlement. We're going to basically give you what you want, so that the SEC can go after what John Deaton's calling here pure ICO type offerings. The ones that are pure scams, the ones that, on the record, Vitalik Buterin, Joe Lubin have, said, we had to do this in order to fund the Ethereum project. Not to bring Ethereum into this, but I guess I just did. Fear and hope. So setting aside the SEC's issues with Ripple as a company, Deaton was most concerned by the SEC's view that all XRP, including those in the secondary market, are securities. Coming to his personal nightmare, however, Deaton said, my biggest fear is the SEC dismissing the case because they fear a loss. And then it's like the last year didn't even happen. Let's not hope for that. That would just prolong things even further. However, Crypto Eddie noticed this SEC picking winners and losers. This was from a couple of days ago now, but I thought it was important to bring up. Just notice how Valerie Sispanik is stuttering here. Notice how she doesn't really know how to word this properly when she's put on the spot. She currently reports to Gary Gensler and was also a senior advisor for digital assets to the Hinman speech. This is a clip from Thursday. Listen to how she answers this question.
We're trying not to regulate in a way that has picking winners and losers in technology or a certain technology and pushing that. We're trying to be technology neutral to allow the innovation to happen so that there's more than one solution. There's more than one business model. We want to encourage a lot of that kind of activity to take place, and it's not our role to direct how that takes place, as long as it's compliant in terms of, what is the winning technology if there is one. So,
wow, she doesn't seem too confident while answering that question. I mean, that is just what I got from this. Maybe some of you guys are reading this differently, but I agree with Crypto Eddie. The fact that she's being put on the spot here and is trying to give an answer along the lines of what the company policy is. However, some people are better at it than others. Wanted to thank Crypto Eddie for posting that. And this one, guys, from Michael at Val5 Links, just another story. This morning, the mayor of Tampa, Florida, implied and later appeared to confirm on Twitter that she would be open to receiving payment in Bitcoin. So just a few key takeaways here. I read the first one. The news first began to circulate this morning on Twitter and appeared to derive from comments the mayor made this morning at a conference. Mayor Castor joins other local politicians, including Miami Mayor Francis Suarez and New York's Mayor-elect Eric Adams, who have said they are willing to be paid in the cryptocurrency. So Bitcoin, also part of this news. Of course, Bitcoin big in Florida. There's going to be another Bitcoin conference happening in Miami, South Beach, Florida this April. So all this just kind of tying this together, right? Bitcoin, it's going to do what it's going to do. And, a prolonged bull run doesn't seem unlikely, especially when we are putting the entire story together. Remember, when we were in a bull run in 2017, none of these other factors were, never mind in play. They weren't even on the radar yet. At that time, cryptocurrency was still deemed fraudulent for criminals, so on and so forth. But now the landscape is very different, right? We've got infrastructure bills. We've got lawsuits that are really going to determine things. We've got mayors now in major cities in the US saying they are going to accept Bitcoin, essentially saying, for us, that's just as good as legal tender. And we also have this, guys, another one from Michael at Val5 Links, posting this article here from Cointelegraph. Now, this is describing some sentiments that Raoul Pal has about the crypto market. He says to expect the path of most pain around December. And, in the past, we've said, well, and we've even seen in the past that, in 2017 and in 2013, those former bull runs, we saw that December was really that peak period for cryptocurrency. But he's saying we could see the most pain in and around December. So former Goldman Sachs hedge fund manager and Real Vision founder Raoul Pal believes that the social media pundits are wrong and that the crypto market cycle won't end this year. But things might get a bit hairy on the way. He said in an interview he predicted that the current bull run won't end in December as it did spectacularly in 2015 and 2017 and will instead extend to some time between March and June. According to Pal, Bitcoin, Ether, and altcoin markets are likely to take the path of most pain, potentially crashing twice over the next 6 months. So that is another statement suggesting a prolonged bull run. My guess is that we'll probably have a sell-off, and when it rips again, because that is the path of most pain and markets tend to take the path of most pain. Cointelegraph reported on Thursday that on-chain data source Econometrics suggested that the cycle could follow the same pattern as it did in 2017. The next Bitcoin price peak could be as much as $253,800. So Raoul Pal saying, we could see this extend a lot longer. And his prediction is anywhere between March and June. So he is going as far as saying Q1 or Q2 of 2022. Whereas Michael Van de Pope saying, we're going to see this in Q1. Now, the reason I'm personally getting more bullish on this idea of a prolonged bull run is because I'm seeing more evidence, right? I'm listening to everybody here, and I'm seeing more evidence to suggest the same. I did originally think, as we've seen in the past, like clockwork, Bitcoin rallying, topping out, doing its typical thing, topping out in December, then, another 2-3 year bear market. But what we have to remember, guys, is that these bull markets are getting longer and the bear markets are getting longer as well. It's almost like they're being stretched out. We're going to look at some numbers in a second, but the other thing we have to talk about is price, right? Do I think that Bitcoin is going to go to $250,000 per coin? Yes, one day, but probably not in the next 6 months. We also have to look at some other factors. And so in this video, we're talking a little bit more about the time frame and not so much price. But I also just wanted to bring this up for you guys from Kino Shaking here on Twitter. BTC, I have the pleasure of introducing the most interesting top detecting model I've seen for Bitcoin. This metric is a full checkmatey original. The lad was awesome enough to let me present it to you for the first time. So meet terminal price. And you can already start seeing here that the Bitcoin bull run over time has prolonged, right? It's gotten longer and longer and longer. So here they're talking about terminal price for BTC, okay? And that is represented in red. He goes on to say, first, its formula. Checkmate took one of my inventions, transferred price, which I used as a subtractive value to create balanced price, and apply it to a multiplier instead. So he is saying the terminal price, transferred price, is a multiple of 21, and he gives the calculation here. Guys, I'll link this all in the description if you want to get into it in more detail. In his words, this creates a sort of terminal value as the supply is all mined. It's basically a reverse supply adjustment. Instead of heavily weighting later behavior, it normalizes historical behavior to today by normalizing by 21. You create a terminal value. This metric can now be cataloged in within the set of transferred price derivatives, which aim to bring coin days destroyed into the price domain, ideally balance price for bottoms and terminal price for tops. Today, the terminal price stands at $80,000 approximately. I'm not going to get into the details because I want to get to what I'm going to talk about next, but I just wanted to bring this up as well. Historically, whenever price surpasses terminal price, a top can be detected, yet it usually goes above by about 20 to 60%. So he is assuming the terminal price is would bring Bitcoin to about $80,000, which we have already kind of concluded based on many different factors. So the $80,000 Bitcoin price, that seems very likely. However, if we do see it go above, and this is going to be dependent on how long this bull run is, we could see it go above by 20 to 60% above $80,000. So just to give you guys a sense of what that is, 80.3, right, times 60% could bring the price of Bitcoin to about $128,000 per BTC. Okay, so that is for Bitcoin. But if we were to take this model, and we're already presuming a top end for XRP, the range is $10 to $15. But if we were to take that top end, assume that was the terminal price for XRP, and to increase that by 20 to 60%, we could get an XRP price of anywhere between $18, all right, and $24 per XRP. That is assuming this terminal price model would impact XRP the same way it would impact Bitcoin. Now, of course, there are going to be other factors involved, but I just wanted to throw that out there just to give you guys a sense of if we did see the typical thing, right, we got to our targets, what we could see and where prices could go if it continued onward. And so we got Raoul Pal saying, we could see it go as late as Q2 of 2022. But I wanted to really take a look at this Bitcoin price chart and see if we can derive anything else from this. So I've got the Bitcoin chart up here, and I'm going to look at it, guys, on a wider time frame. And so I'm going to just jump right in here. So, guys, we got the bull run here, bottom of the bear market, 2011, 2012, going right up to this peak here. And you guys can see this was the quickest bull market we saw because it was right near the beginning. And it took roughly 740 days, give or take, for us to get from this bottom point here, right, to the top up here. So we'll call that the 2013 bull run. All right, now we have the 2017 bull run, the one that most of us are very familiar with. And if we take it from the bottom here, all the way to the top of the market up here, it took roughly, we'll call it 1,070 days. Okay, so we're taking it from the bottom all the way to the top, and we're taking it from that first bottom here. It did dip down again, created a double bottom, and then rallied up. But even if we just take it from here, right, 740 days, the second one, 1,070 days, and that is roughly a 31% increase. So I'm taking 100, subtract 69, that is about 31%. Okay, now I know we don't have a lot of data to work from here, but if we were to assume that roughly this bull run were to take another 31% longer from the first bottom down here, where would we get the final top of this bull run? Well, if we take the last bull run, right, and add roughly 31%, it would take us to about 1,401 days from this bottom here, which occurred back in 2018, December 2018. So that would bring us roughly in and around here, give or take, okay, 1,400 days, guys, which would bring us to October 2022. So this is even bringing us further than Raoul Pal's prediction here of March to June. It would bring us to Q4 of 2022. But, this is just one way to look at the bull run and why we could potentially see Bitcoin price not top out until October of 2022. So, it's not like we would see a bear market in between there, but it does suggest we would do something like this. Keep going up basically. Well, it wouldn't go that far. It would go up till here, right? Keep going up basically until October of 2022. So I thought this was kind of interesting, and I wanted to take a look at it from a different perspective as well. I was taking it from this first bottom here, right? This first dip down in the bear market. But when looking at the 2013 bull run over here, I noticed there was only one bottom. And so what I would have to do is I would have to change all this. I would have to take this and bring it over here, take it from this second bottom over here. All right, so that would give us about 846 days. All right, you guys seeing what I'm doing here? I'm taking it from the second bottom, right? The double bottom before the blast off point. And if I were to calculate it from there, and in that case, we would assume that this would be the second bottom, what we would have now is this. So 740 divided by 846, you subtract 100 by 87, that gives us roughly 13%, okay? So now we're looking at a 13% increase from the second bottom to the height of the market. Well, where would that land us here in today's bull run? So take a look at this. I'm gonna drag this, and as you guys can see here, the second bottom would bring us to March of 2020. That would be in and around here, right? We're looking at this double bottom before blast off, okay? And we're in this bull run right now. Let me just get rid of that for a second here. Whoops, get rid of that, okay? 13% longer than 846 days. What would that bring us to, guys? 846 times 1.13 would bring us to about 956 days. So if I were to bring this here, take it from here and calculate, okay? 900, what was it again? 956 days. Where does that bring us, guys? 956. Wow. You can see that also brings us to October of 2022. So regardless of if you take it from the first bottom or the second bottom, based on time increase as a percentage, we are still roughly getting the same amount of time, October 2022, for this bull run to complete. Now that's not to say again that we are going to see a bear market from here till now. That just means that we are going to continue stepping upward, continuing to be able to reap profits for another year. And considering how the cryptocurrency market is shaping up, it doesn't sound like that is too off base. It does sound like there is more and more evidence to suggest a prolonged bull market. So will it be Q1 2022 or beyond? There's so much to suggest that we are going to be able to reap profits throughout 2022, guys. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.